The coffee maker in the break room gurgled its familiar morning song as Sarah Martinez adjusted her blazer and checked her reflection in the microwave door. Another Monday at Hartwell and Associates, another week of pretending that Friday night hadn't happened. Again. She glanced across the open office space to where David Chen sat at his desk, already immersed in spreadsheets despite the early hour. Their eyes met briefly, and he offered the same polite, professional smile he'd been giving her for the past 6 months, ever since their working relationship had evolved into something decidedly more complicated. "Morning, Sarah," came a voice behind her. She turned to find Jessica Walsh, the firm's head of digital marketing, clutching an oversized coffee mug and looking unusually flustered. "Hey, Jess. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." Jessica glanced around nervously, then lowered her voice. "Can we talk? Privately?" Something in her tone made Sarah's stomach clench. "Of course. Conference room B?" They settled into the small meeting room, Jessica closing the door with more care than necessary. She sat across from Sarah, her usually confident demeanor replaced by visible discomfort. "This is... God, I don't even know how to start this conversation." Jessica ran her hands through her auburn hair. "Sarah, I need to ask you something, and I really hope I'm wrong about this." "Just ask. Do you and David have any kind of personal relationship outside of work?" The question hit like a physical blow. Sarah felt her face flush, her carefully constructed professional facade cracking. "Why would you ask that?" "Because," Jessica pulled out her phone with trembling fingers, "I think I found something online that you both need to know about." She turned the screen toward Sarah, and the world seemed to tilt on its axis. There, on what appeared to be an adult content website, was a thumbnail image that made Sarah's blood turn to ice. It was unmistakably her and David, captured in an intimate moment she remembered from just 2 weeks ago. "Oh my God." The words came out as barely a whisper. "I was doing research for the Morrison campaign, you know how they want us to monitor their digital footprint? I was using some advanced search tools, and I came across this." Jessica's voice was gentle but urgent. "Sarah, there are multiple videos. And they're tagged with both your names." Sarah stared at the screen, her mind racing. The username on the account was htx_couple_fun, something she vaguely remembered David mentioning when they'd first started recording themselves. It had seemed so harmless at the time, so private. A way to add excitement to their secret relationship. "How many people have seen this?" Sarah's voice was hollow. "I don't know. But Sarah, the metadata on these videos, they're geotagged to David's apartment. And one of them shows part of his home office, where he has that distinctive Hartwell and Associates award on the shelf." The implications crashed over Sarah like a tsunami. Their secret wasn't just exposed, it was exposed in a way that directly connected them to their workplace. Everything they'd worked to keep separate had collided in the most public, humiliating way possible. "I need to find David," Sarah said, standing on unsteady legs. "He's not at his desk anymore. I saw him head toward the parking garage about 10 minutes ago." Sarah was already moving, her heels clicking rapidly against the polished floor as she made her way through the office. Several colleagues looked up as she passed, and she wondered with paranoid clarity if any of them had seen what Jessica had found. She caught up with David at his car, where he was sitting in the driver's seat with his head in his hands. She tapped on the window, and when he looked up, she could see that he already knew. "Get in," he said, unlocking the passenger door. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of their situation settling around them like toxic fog. "How did you find out?" Sarah asked finally. "Marcus." David's voice was flat. "He texted me this morning. Said he was browsing last night and recognized my apartment. He was congratulatory about it. Thought it was intentionally public." Marcus Williams was David's college friend and current colleague in the accounting department. Sarah closed her eyes, imagining the conversation, the crude jokes that would follow. Jessica found it too. She was doing research and stumbled across it. Sarah turned to face him. "David, what were we thinking? Why didn't we use privacy settings? Why did we use our real names? I thought I had privacy settings enabled. I thought it was just. I don't know, I thought we were being careful." He laughed bitterly. "Careful. We were having an affair and posting videos of it online. That's the opposite of careful." The reality of their situation was becoming clearer with each passing moment. They worked for a conservative financial firm. David was married, separated, but still technically married. Sarah was being considered for a promotion to senior analyst. Their professional reputations, their careers, everything they'd built was now in jeopardy. "We have to go to HR," Sarah said. "Before someone else does." "And say what?" "Hi, we've been having an affair and accidentally posted pornographic videos of ourselves online that can be traced back to the company. We have to get ahead of this somehow." David started the engine. "First, we need to get those videos taken down. Then we figure out damage control." They spent the morning in David's apartment, frantically trying to navigate the website's content removal process. The irony wasn't lost on either of them that they were now desperately trying to delete the same videos they'd once uploaded with such excitement. "It says it can take up to 72 hours for content removal requests to be processed," David said, staring at his laptop screen. 72 hours? David, by then half the office could have seen them. The phone rang, making them both jump. It was Sarah's direct supervisor, Linda Hartwell, the founder's daughter and a woman known for her strict adherence to company policies. "Sarah, I need you in my office. Now." The walk back into the building felt like a march to execution. Sarah could swear that people were looking at her differently, though she knew that was likely paranoia. Or was it? Linda's office was intimidating under the best circumstances: floor-to-ceiling windows, imposing desk, walls lined with awards and degrees. Today, it felt like a courtroom. "Sit down, Sarah." Linda's tone was neutral, which somehow made it worse. "I'm going to be direct with you because I believe you deserve that courtesy. I received an anonymous email this morning with links to some, concerning content. Content that appears to feature you and David Chen." Sarah felt her world crumble. "Linda, I can explain." "Can you? Can you explain how an employee of this firm came to be featured in explicit videos that are publicly accessible on the internet? Videos that include imagery that can be traced back to this company? It was never meant to be public. We thought. You thought wrong." Linda's voice was ice. "Sarah, you understand that this puts the firm in an untenable position. We have clients who trust us with their most sensitive financial information. We have a reputation that we've spent decades building." "I know. I understand. David and I are working to get the content removed immediately. David will be having his own conversation with me shortly. But right now, I need to know, is there anything else? Any other content, any other situations that could potentially embarrass this firm?" Sarah shook her head, not trusting her voice. "Here's what's going to happen," Linda continued. "You're both going on immediate administrative leave while we conduct a full investigation. HR will be in touch about the process going forward. I suggest you use this time to seriously consider your career priorities." The rest of the day passed in a blur. Sarah cleaned out her desk while trying to ignore the curious stares of her colleagues. David had already left, presumably after his own devastating meeting with Linda. By evening, they were back at David's apartment, both unemployed and facing an uncertain future. "The website responded," David said, looking at his laptop. "The videos will be removed within 24 hours. "Too late," Sarah replied, staring out the window. "Jessica said she found them through advanced search tools. If she could find